Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stan and today we are going to explore one of the most interesting but confusing topics. What is this? Let's find out. In just a few minutes you will get a fully understanding what is this, how it's working and how we can understand what this will refer in this current moment of execution of our program. So let's jump in the code editor and I will show you on a few small examples how we can understand it. Okay friends, there are four main rules how to determine what this refers to. And let's start with the first one, implicit binding. So for example, we have a simple object with the property name, it is just a string John, and the method called greet. It is just a simple function that logging a string that hello this name, so referring to the this. And how we can understand what this will refer in this object. That's the first and the super simple rule here. If a function called as a method of an object, this will refer to that object. Okay, let's run the first code and see what we will get in the output. So we are having hello John because this greet is a method on the object. Great. Moving next, explicit binding. So we can explicitly set we can explicitly set what this should refer to. And here we can use three methods: call, apply, and bind. Let's start with the call method. Right here we have a simple function, greet, and this function actually is in the global context. And this functionality is pretty the same, we just log in a string, hello, this name. And this guy I will delete for now, but we will use it later. Just logging the string. And also we have a user object with the property name, with a Jane right now. So right now we want that our greet function will call with the context this refers to user object. How we can do this with the call method? Super simple. We just get our greet function and then use the call method with passing object as a param. So right here we will have just a user as an object passed as a param. Okay, so let's run this function again. Yeah, and the same input, so we have Jane. And the second method, it is apply. All things here pretty the same. We have a function introduced, but here we have two params already, so age and city. And these params are using inside of our log. So hi, I'm this, referring to this name, age years old, from city. Great. And also we have a person object with the property name. Again, name Mike. And how we can use apply? We are again using our function, then calling apply method, passing person as the first param, but here an interesting thing, we need to pass all arguments that we should use inside our introduce function as an array. So right here we pass in 30 and New York as a params of introduce function, but as an array. So please remember, apply params as an array. It's pretty important thing. Okay, let's execute this code again. Bums. Hi, I am Mike, 30 years old, from New York. And right now you can have a question. What is the main difference between call and apply methods? Please be patient and in a few minutes we will cover it. Let's move next. So the last method that we can use for bind in our context called bind. Right here we have pretty the same function, say hi, with the login of this name. Also we have a girl object with name Sarah. And what are we doing here? So first thing first, we are creating new binded function, say hi to Sarah. And this function creating with calling bind method, so it is super strict binding of a context. This function, say hi to Sarah, will have only this function for the full execution time of a program. So right here we are calling say hi with the bind method and put girl as a param. And then we just need to call say hi to Sarah to execute this function. So please, important note, bind is not call invoke this function in the current moment. It's just binding the context, but apply and call invokes executing function as it is. Run the code and let's go to the terminal. Right here we have hi Sarah. But let's talk a bit about difference between call, apply, bind once again. So as we said, we have here the array of arguments. But inside of our call example, we do not have any arguments right now, but let's add this. So I already add this prof, but let's read it again. Prof, will be just simple argument that we will use right here. Hello, its name, and I want that this guy will say what is the profession does he have. And then I can simple pass the argument one by one after my user object right here. So, okay, for example, programmer, save this, and let's try to execute this code. Okay, great, this is working. That's pretty fine. So right here I have a short info about the difference between call, apply, and bind. So first, call invokes the function immediately, allowing you to pass the params as an arguments one after one, so one by one. Second, apply invokes a function immediately, but you should pass the arguments as an array of arguments, so it should be an array. And bind returns the new function with strictly binded context, which can be invoked later as you will need this. Okay, so pretty simple, only 3 methods, and the difference we covered it. Okay, let's move next. Binding with the new. Okay, right here we have a class user with the constructor. We are passing name as an argument, and this name refers to name. Pretty simple. And then we want to create a new instance of our class, for example, new user. And right here we are creating new user with new keyword and using our class and pass Alice as a param, as a name. And if then we want to understand what exactly a new user name, so this past Alice will refers to this inside of the new instance. So right here, new user name will Alice because we pass it in the param and then use this to refer it. Let's again run the code and see what we have here. Alice, pretty simple. Moving next. Last thing that I want to mention here, it is arrow function and this. Remember one thing, that arrow function do not have their own this inside, but they inherit this from the lexical environment of execution of this function. So right here we have a simple object, arrow object, with the property name, which is Emma, and greet method. But greet method, it is a function that have an arrow function as a constant inside of it, and this arrow function again just logging in a string with hello this name. And then we are calling this inner function inside of the method. So as we understand, inside of the function we do not have this, but while the function is executing, this look around and see what the scope is above of this function, above of this method, and it is arrow object. And our arrow function will refer to arrow object's property name to get it as this name. Okay, so let's run this code and see what do we have in the result. And we have hello Emma. Pretty cool, isn't it? I think yeah. Okay guys, that's it for this short video. We covered the keyword this, how it's worked, how to understand what this refers to in the current moment, how we can bind this to understand what it definitely should be. I think that was pretty helpful. And if you found this video helpful, please set the like, subscribe to my channel, and of course if you have any questions or you have anything to say, or maybe the topics that need to be covered next, please just type it in the comment down below the video. I will react on it, I will answer, and I want to build a strong community here. So I hope that you're satisfied. I really appreciate that you're watching this, and see you in the next videos. Have a great day, guys.